Hey folks, how we doing? It's Mr. Carter here. We're ready to do HomeLink 6.7. Go ahead and put your name on this if you haven't yet already, and let's begin. Alright, so we are doing partial quotients again to do some dividing. So we've got a couple of number stories here that we're going to need to solve using division and particularly partial quotients. So let's go through it. The Carnival Committee here has 360 small prizes to distribute to 5 booths. How many prizes will each booth get? So our estimate, they're asking us first, we'll figure that out in a minute. So let's go right to our number model, sorry about that, with our unknown. So we know that we need to go 360 small prizes divided by 5 equals, and we could use P for our unknown. Now we're going back to our estimate, so we need to make this some friendly numbers. Well, I know that 350 is nicely divided up by 5 because 35 divided by 5 would be 7. So if I go 350 divided by 5 equals 70. Because, again, our basic fact is 35 divided by 5 would be 7, but then we've got to extend it here by 1 0. So that's going to be our estimate. So now we need to do this using partial quotients. So we're going to go 360 divided by 5, and then we'll put up our side thing over here to start working out our partial quotients. So we can go right for it and say that we know that 70 times 5 is 350. So if you want to put 70 right here on your side thing, we know that 7 times 5 is 35, and if you extend it by 0, that would be 350. So we can go 360 take away 350 is 10. So that brings us right close to 0 right off the bat. So we know that we can do 5 times 2 to get us 10. So we're going to put 2 here on our side thing. And so 5 times 2 is 10. So we're going to put 10 over here, take away the 10 that we have left, and now we are at 0. Now what we got to do is add our side thing here and to get our answer. So we know that it's 70 plus 2 is 72. So our answer is that there's going to be 72 prizes given out to each booth. It's asking here, how many prizes are left over? Well, we don't have any left over. We ended up with 0. So we're going to put 0. It was evenly divided amongst each booth. All right, number 2. So let's go here. The mall needs a row of parking spaces. The length of the parking area is 2,711 feet. If each parking space is 9 feet wide, how many spaces will there be? Well, our number model with our unknown will be 2,711 feet divided by 9 feet for each space equals, and let's just put S here for space. So if we go to estimate, I know that 3,000 is close to that, and it will divide evenly by 9, or we can go divide that, take that 9, make it even easier, and divide it by 10. So our estimate, if we go 3,000 divided by 10, will be approximately 300. Basically just cancel out a 0 on each side. All right, so go ahead and we're going to do this together. We'll do our partial quotient. So we're going to go 2,711 divided by 9. Put our side thing up here and start thinking about that. So I'm going to go with 300, which is our estimate. See if that works out. So I go 300 times 9. You know, that's 2,700. So that brings us pretty close without going over. So that's 2,700 because 3 times 9 is 27, and we're extending it by the 2 zeros here. That brings us right closer to 0. So if we take away 2,711 from 2,700, we're left with 1. 1 and 7, and take away 7, and 2 take away 2 is nothing. So we're left with just 11. So now I know that we only have 9, and we have 11 feet left. Divide that in 2. So we only have one more spot that we can fit. So if I go 9 times 1, that's 9. 11 take away 9 is 2. Now we've got to figure out our answer by adding up our side thing over here. It's 301 total feet. Total spaces is what our answer is. Are there any feet left over? Yeah, we had 2 as our remainder. So we had 2 feet left over in our parking lot. Okay. Now they're asking you to solve questions 3 and 4 on the back of this page. So go ahead and do that. I'll do it on another piece of paper over here. So the first one we were asked to do is 161 divided by 7. So I'm going to start with 10. 10 times 7 is 70. If I take away 70 from 161, 1 take away 0 is 1. 6 take away 7, we can't do that, so we've got to borrow or trade. So it's going to make it 16. 16 take away 7 is 9. That leaves us with 91. Let's do another 10. 10 times 7 would be another 70. So 1, and we're left with 21. Now I know that 7 times 3 is 21, so I'm going to go right ahead and put 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Take away the 21 that we have left, and now we have a remainder of 0. So we can go and add our side thing to figure out our answer. So 10 plus 3 is 23 is our answer. So we'll go ahead and put that over here. And we forgot to do our estimate, so let's go ahead and do that, see if we're close. So 160 would be close to 161, and 8, which I know goes into 16, is also close to 7, so that would make it easier to divide. So 160 divided by 8 would be 20, which makes sense because our actual answer is 23. All right, let's go ahead and do our estimate here first. So I'm going to go with 600, take that 576 and make it 600. We're going to divide that, keep it by 4, because I know that 4 is evenly divided by 60, which would be 15, and then we've got to extend that and make it 150. So 150 times 4 is 600. All right, so let's go figure out the actual answer for number 4 over here. So we've got 576 divided by 4. So I'm going to go with 100 right off the bat. So I know that 100 times 4, that's easy to multiply. So we're going to go 400. 6 take away 0 is 6, 7 take away 0 is 7, and 5 take away 4 is 1. So we can go by 20, because I know that 20 times 4 would give me 80, which is close to that. So I'm going to go 20 here. 20 times 4, that would give me 80. And I'm going to subtract from 176. 6 take away 0 is 6. 7 take away 8, we're going to need to trade. Make that 17. 17 take away 8 is 9. That gives us 96 left. So we can do another 20. And 20 times 4, again, is 80. 6 take away 0 is 6. 9 take away 1 is 8. We're left with 16. And I know that 4 times 4 is 16. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 here. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 take away 16 is 0. So again, we are left with no remainder. Then we can add our side thing up. So 100 plus 20 plus 20 is 140. Plus 4 would be 144. So our answer is 144, which is close to our estimate. All right, let's go look at our practice down here. So we're asked to put these decimals in order from least to greatest. So it's important to read these directions to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So if I'm looking at 98 hundredths, 34 hundredths, 9 and 8 tenths, and 8 hundredths, there's only one here with a whole number, and that is 9 and 8/10. So that's got to be our biggest number because there are no whole numbers in the others. There are zeros. So that's going to be our biggest. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on this line here, and that one's placed. So we can cross that one out. Now if I'm looking at the ones that are left over, we've got 98 hundredths, 34 hundredths, and 8 hundredths. Well, since they're all hundredths, they're kind of easy to put in order. We know that 8 hundredths would be our least greatest decimal, and then 34 hundredths would be our next one, and then we're just left with 98 hundredths. Let's look at number 6. So again, if I'm looking at our numbers, we have 11 hundredths, 1 hundredth, 10 hundredths, and 1. There's only one here with a whole number, and that would be 1. So we can go ahead and put that as our greatest because all the others have zeros in the ones place. So we can place that one. It's crossed out already. All right, and we're left with 1. All the rest are in hundredths, so it makes it easy. So we got 1 hundredth, and then between these two it would be 10 hundredths, and last is the 11 hundredths. So 7 and 8, they're asking us here to use the less than, greater than, or equal to signs to compare these decimals. So here we have hundredths, and here we have tenths. So I'm going to make them both hundredths. So I'm going to convert this 5/10ths into 50 hundredths. Now that they're both hundredths, they're easier to compare, and we know that 65 hundredths would be greater than 50 hundredths. We can do the same thing over here. We've got 37 and 9/10ths and 37 and 96 hundredths. Well, our whole numbers are the same, so we've got to look at our decimals. So if I make this hundredths, 37 and 90 hundredths, compare that to 37 and 96 hundredths, we know that 37 and 90 hundredths would be less than 37 and 96 hundredths. All right, that's it for now. If you have questions, please come see me. I hope this was helpful. Take care.